Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr., and welcome once again to another classic movie review. This is my review of a Western from 1964, directed by Sergio Leone and stars Clint Eastwood. This is the first part of a trilogy, and this is A Fistful of Dollars. This is a great Clint Eastwood film. This is one of his very early starring roles, one of the roles that helped put him on the map, and this is one of those movies that once you've watched it, you kind of realize that you just watched an iconic film masterpiece. It's a very highly influential Western. It has influenced dozens of filmmakers. Quentin Tarantino's work has been heavily inspired by Sergio Leone, the director of this film. He's made some great movies, movies like Once Upon a Time in the West, Once Upon a Time in America, this trilogy is definitely one of the great examples of top tier Western cinema. And this first film is nothing to sneeze at. It is a brilliant achievement. And there's some great gunfights in this movie, some very um, beautiful looking editing. The sound design is top notch. And, Clint Eastwood commands the screen all throughout the film in a role that doesn't require too much dialogue. His character arrives in a town that looks like it's really been through it. We see a little boy and his father uh, that looks like they're having a real hard time. Then later on, we see the connection with that with another character in the film. Uh, it becomes apparent right away that this town doesn't have too many residents. It's like a few people have stayed behind, but looks like most people have already left because there's two factions running this town. Uh, you got the Baxters and the Rojos, and when Clint Eastwood's character gets into town, he meets a group of men that works for the Rojos. They take a few shots at his horse and send the horse running a little bit, scare the horse. He goes into a bar, gets something to drink, gets something to eat, makes friends with a local bartender who becomes an ally in the film. So Clint Eastwood gets plenty of information that he can use, and then he goes outside and confronts the gentleman that scared his horse. And the look in their eyes when they realize that he's serious, when he says he wants them to apologize for scaring his horse, and that his horse, because they start laughing and stuff, kind of mocking him, and he talks about how he doesn't, his horse doesn't like people laughing at him and stuff, and so, he gets the gun on the holster, and there's a very nice little, shootout early in the movie, and it's a great little setup for the type of action and type of shootouts that you get all throughout the movie. Because there are two sides in this town that are fighting for control, and Clint Eastwood is kind of under the radar, and he meets with one group without the other group knowing. He kind of plays both sides, gaining the confidence of the Baxters. The Baxters are run by the sheriff there, and probably the only law in the town, though it is really considered just another rival gang. And so Clint Eastwood does kind of infiltrate both sides and gains the confidence of the head guy at the Baxters and Ramon, who is the head of the Rojos, and finds ways to get both sides to fight each other without them knowing it. And all the while, Clint Eastwood is getting paid off for little things here and there by both sides, just kind of getting rich off uh, both factions. And it isn't very long before Ramon, the leader of the Rojos, who is the more vicious of the two gang leaders, it isn't very long until he figures this out. And then it gets very interesting. I really like the scene where Eastwood meets Ramon for the first time because throughout the movie in the first act, people talk about Ramon sort of building him up. And Eastwood, his character, every now and then says, "Oh, I'm looking forward to meeting this guy." And when they finally do meet, you can see that there is a little bit of tension in the scene where he introduces himself to Ramon, and you see that both these men admire each other just a little bit, but you can see that Ramon can tell that this guy is dangerous and he's a guy to watch out for, and vice versa. So we see there is kind of a mutual respect between the men in terms of their capabilities, because Ramon is kind of known as this guy who's very good with the rifle, and I like how they kind of compare each other's weapons, the rifle versus the 45, and which one is better. And it just makes for very cool moments between the hero of the movie and the villain of the movie, and the dialogue in the scenes where you see them sharing some moments together. The dialogue is very engaging and entertaining. The music score from this movie by Ennio Morricone is almost another character in the film. It's so much fun to listen to, and all throughout the movie, it's perfect at setting the mood. This movie builds to a very exciting conclusion and has a very iconic ending scene. And maybe even if you haven't seen this movie, you've probably seen the scene at the end, which kind of sucks for a lot of people since, it is uh, a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, but I'm not going to reveal what it is. I will say that the end is very, very fun to watch, and if you have seen certain movies that maybe played a clip of this at one point, because so many movies have paid homage to this classic Western. For those of you that are getting into Clint Eastwood's work, if you enjoy any of his movies and if you like what he does, then I highly recommend that you check out A Fistful of Dollars. It is one of the iconic Clint Eastwood roles, and this is the first part of a great trilogy. You should definitely check this out. This is one of the great westerns of the 1960s, and not just that, it's one of the great films of all time, in my opinion. Like I said, it was highly influential. It has influenced many filmmakers, and if you enjoy yourself a good shoot 'em up, I highly recommend A Fistful of Dollars. It's a four-star masterpiece and one of Sergio Leone's classics. It's a movie that I think you can't find on streaming because it is a popular classic western, spaghetti western. I never understood why they call these movies spaghetti westerns. I guess spaghetti, Italian people like spaghetti, so I don't know, I guess. But, anyways, like I said, you can't find this out there. It is popular, but, I'm always saying to people, get yourself a hard copy. Hard copies, they're not going to be around for too much longer. I swear by these things. I love my hard copies, and that is the Blu-ray of Clint Eastwood in A Fistful of Dollars, looking badass as usual. And yeah, you can see he has that gun there, his 45 that he swears by. A Fistful of Dollars, 1964, a bona fide classic. Check this one out. It's a real treat. Gonna get out of here now. Thank you very much for watching this classic movie review. Those of you that are into this kind of thing, if you're new to the channel, hit that bell and subscribe. And if you are a returning viewer, I appreciate the support since I'm still kind of a new channel. So thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate you. And, don't forget to check out the next video. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and just look out for the next one. Take care of each other. Peace out. See ya.